All right, so moving on now. Now we're gonna get to movies now. First is one that actually premiered at Netflix,
Yeah,
and for good reason too, because this is based off of one of my all-time favorite TV shows, Breaking Bad. This would be El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, right? So I was stoked, but I was a little bit worried, admittedly, when I saw the first trailer for this. Like I was always hearing through the grapevine, Breaking Bad movie, what a show what happened next. But I was like, all right, well, where the show ended, with the death of Walter White, I was like, all right, this is perfect for me. Maybe some
yeah,
people may disagree, but I actually love that final season. I love it so much. Like that season was really that was like the perfect conclusion to the series. And you saw in terms of characters just how they changed from the first season to then. You know what I mean? It was like more or less polar opposites, especially in terms of Walter White, played by Bryan Cranston, and of course, Jesse Pinkman, played by Aaron Paul, right? But in this case here, this is the closing chapter, if you will, of Pinkman's story. Because if you remember from the series finale, he just dove into that car, drove off, and he was just laughing. It was just like, yes, mean freedom and all that kind of stuff. And that, is seen a lot because of just I don't want to say torture, but yeah, they're basically torturous, the ordeal that he went through, in the hands of these meth dealing Nazis, basically, right, who had him captive. They had him in this sort of hole, basically,
yeah,
and just would bring him out to just, cook for them there. Um, and one of the characters, one of the members, actually shows back up again. That would be Todd Orquist, played by everyone's favorite
yeah,
Jesse Plemons. Yes,
yeah.
that the creepy mofo. Yeah, he comes back in this, right?
TikTok.
And some other characters from the series show up as well too. And I thought anyway how they did that was great. A little on the nose, but I like that it was just like kind of like mostly with flashbacks, right? And one character in particular, which you'll talk about because unfortunately he passed away just a couple days
Yeah,
ago, so we'll touch on him a bit. But Ricardo, what is El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie about?
yeah. So basically, it's I think about 6 months after the events of the ending.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's about 6 months. Yeah.
right. So Jesse escapes kind of, and he's driving an El Camino. That is the titular vehicle,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
goes back to his homeboys. His two bros. I forget the name.
Yeah, Skinny
Uh,
Pete's and Badger
right. Yeah. So they give him
still
some
get
money.
high, still playing video games, doing what
Yeah.
they do. Yeah.
They do a nice little rigmarole to throw off the police for a while because they decide to keep the El Camino. They take one car and then they use another car. Um, they use the thing to go to another place just to throw off the trail and dump the car so he could go
Right.
and do what he had to do. And basically he remembers, well, the big impetus of the plot is that he remembers that Todd had money inside his place
Yes.
to go get the money. But the second he found, by the time he get it, it's too late. Somebody else comes in, and when we find out who it was, and that is where the impetus of the story plays out, where it's about money, and then him having to um, go by Ed to get his basically get his identity reset and run away to Alaska because get good advice to go Alaska if he had the chance. That was in the beginning.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. He had to go out and I kind of started out the whole story. He has to go get the money. Just a nice little a coda to Breaking Bad effective.
Yes,
And
yes,
that's
yes. And
yeah,
and let's talk about Ed for a bit. Well, he is played by Robert Forster. Forster,
yeah,
sorry, right, who passed away a few days ago. This was unfortunate. Because well, to me, the most famous role he's had, was playing Max Cherry in Jackie Brown, right? To me, that was like his
yeah,
best performance, him alongside Pam Grier. And well, I mean, I wasn't like taken aback by it, but it's just that he also started this movie here that came out like literally last Friday time it was recorded. I was just like, wow, boy, like you picked this time
right,
to actually bite the dust them, but it's still unfortunate. Before I forget to rest in peace to Robert Foster, right? He also
yeah,
starred in Twin Peaks: The Return, which was a show
yeah,
that I totally praise. I still praise it to this day, actually. And I actually forgot this though, but he was in the last season of Breaking Bad actually, because I was trying to remember who his character was. But he was the one pretty much who got Walter White out of New Mexico and got him to
right,
Alaska in the first place. And he would
Right.
tell him, well, okay, I'll come back every single month. I'll bring some supplies for you, blah, blah, blah. Just keep, just keep it, just, keep yourself on the low, do, attract no attention. And then, well, of course, Walter just had to go back to set the score. And, well, that ended tragically for him, right? So it took me a
Right.
while to pick up, like, oh, that's who Ed was. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before I gush over the show, I'll kind of gush over it. And I know you that like the biggest fan of Breaking Bad, right? So, how did this show work for you? See that you're not the biggest fan of that show.
I thought it was great.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, no, it just paced itself quite well. I forget all the little small details here. There, I was like, oh yeah, right. This is this character. And were the two characters who were the cops? I was like, them was cops? No, they're not. And it's like, oh yeah, right. And they had little nice moments in it, like when he said Lieutenant come in here. I like that. So you know what's
Yeah,
going on. In the
yeah,
little stuff like that. They made it work for what it was. Just a simple arc for Jesse. Just a simple, okay, this is how to wrap up this character. It just feel like there's an extended post-credit scene for Breaking Bad effectively. Um, that's what it is. It's just a nicer coda to wrap up this character and then have him move on. And they did that. Like, that's it. They just told this character, and the ending with the last piece where he knocked on the door in the hotel. I thought that was great because
yeah. It was. I
they,
love the fact that we got to see at least one moment with Walter
yes,
White. Like I thought that was
yeah,
great, and the fact that they got Bryan Cranston to
come back,
to do that scene was great. Because I was
yeah,
worried though, because from the beginning, well, there's a flashback scene. I'm not gonna say who's in it, but it's a popular character in it as well, right?
yeah,
But I was worried that they were just taking old scenes and just clean it up a little bit and just repurpose
yeah.
them for the film. But then I realized no, they actually
No, you
kind
should.
of redo it for the sake of the story, and I that was like
Yeah, yeah.
a great call actually.
Yeah, it's a nice recontextualization of everything. It works for what it is. And I can't be mad at this. I enjoyed the entire time. The what they do with it, that final scene, involving a 22 is great. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
that was fantastic actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not really involving the 22, but you'll see
Yeah,
what you're talking.
well, we don't want to spoil that. I mean,
Right.
the
Um,
fun isn't seen it for yourself,
yeah,
please.
it was just good characterization for Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul just totally holds the whole string,
Yes,
holds
he
holds
does.
the
He
entire
does.
thing
Yeah.
together. Yeah, he was just pretty
Quite
good.
surprisingly too to it because you never really see him as a leading man so much. To be honest, I
Exactly.
never really watched any show where he was the leading man. I actually
Nice thing.
avoided
He hasn't.
Need for Speed, which always made the
Right.
joke that this is why Jesse drove off actually so he could go and star in that show. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
really held his own on this one, man.
Right. Yeah, and they did this. They made how bad things get. They had him, get to a low point and then to have him come back up and rise to the occasion. And they totally made it work for what it is. And yeah, he's a great lead character for this. They just stitched together everything well. The I'm not sure how much links it have to Better Call Saul because I slept on Better Call, so I just gonna admit
No,
that.
I
But
don't think there's any for that at
yeah,
all because
'cause
remember
I only watched.
Better Call Saul happens before Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? So
Right.
they just
But
mentioned the lawyer. You know what I mean? That would be
right, yeah, yeah.
Saul Goodman,
You make
but that's it. That's it.
I only watched season one of Better Call Saul. I haven't watched anything
Okay,
else.
I've watched the first two seasons. I didn't watch the third one as yet, but I figure
Right.
well, since we had to wait till next year for season 5 or whatever it is, I could more than catch up.
Right.
I could actually
I
recap
was
the
wondering,
previous seasons and stuff.
if Better Call Saul gonna go post Breaking Bad at some point. Like I'd imagine it would do that, right?
Well,
Eventually.
it kind of hinted it with, especially with the season premieres, always touching on, oh, well, this is where Saul is now. You know what I mean? This is where
Right.
he's at, and we're gonna
Right.
see what led up to that. Basically, that's
Yeah.
the style of it.
Right. The only issue I had with this was that given the time lapse, the characters get a little too much older. So some of the character consistencies was a little too up, but like they wasn't going to spend the money to make that
Yeah,
whatsoever.
especially a
Um,
particular character who shows up at the
well,
end, who I did not
no,
expect to see it, but I'll see that character. I was like, yeah, that character looking, way older than she did back then.
right.
Back in like what
Yeah, but
season 3 or 4? That's all I'll say. Right.
yeah, and then TikTok, as they say, TikTok was the most notable, right?
Oh yeah,
Apart
yeah, yeah.
from
TikTok, yeah.
yeah, TikTok. So I dug it for what it was. I give this like an 8 out of 10. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just a solid story on its own. But it's clearly for the fans at the same time. It's not as extreme. It wasn't as bad as the Downton Abbey movie. Like Downton Abbey movie, you had to know Downton Abbey to enjoy it. Um,
Right. Yeah.
this on the other hand, you don't really need to know Breaking Bad to enjoy it as much. But if you do know Breaking Bad, you will love it, and
Yes.
that's what
Yeah.
it was for.
Yeah.
So I dug it for what it was. Yeah, 8 out of 10.
All right. Well, I agree with you. Especially what you said just now there about you don't have to know the show to really get it, right? But there are like these nods to the series, these little Easter eggs that you kind of had to pause the show and be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. One in
Yeah,
particular involving a letter. Like I had to see another video, because it's all these videos coming out, reviewing the film, sorry, and praising it. I was like, oh, that's who the letter going to. Oh, right,
right,
right. And I
right,
was
right,
like, wait, who's this person? You know what I mean? But yeah,
right.
because yes, while I do own the box set for Breaking Bad, which I got like about a few years ago. That's the point. It was like a few years ago since I watched that. So I've seen tons of other shows after that. So it's like, oh, right. And because it's such a minor character, it's like, okay, now I know who it is. But it adds so much to the story being told because in this case, just like with the series as a whole, it's all about consequences, all about these actions that are taken, but it's the consequences, just how deep and dark they get now. So you could tell with a character like Jesse Pinkman is like where he's at right now was not where he wanted to be initially. And look at
Yeah,
all the shit this man went through. But I could just wallow in my own self pity, or I could make that move and do something. And it's not like, oh, he's gonna make all these positive changes in this movie. It's just like, yo, I gotta get this money. This is what I'm gonna do, right? If I had to shoot a man down, if it comes to that, so be it. But it's all about
yeah,
getting away. So it never paints Jesse as, this big hero because he never was really. You know what I mean? He never was. He was sympathetic, but he was never was a heroic character at all. You know what I mean? So I love
right.
that they stuck with that, right? They never paint him as this big hero that you're supposed to love. Um, and like you said, like I said with Aaron Paul, you know what I mean? I was just surprised at how well he just held this show together. You know what I mean? You could just tell that he is not the same Jesse Pinkman that he was like in the first half of the series. You know what I mean? Where he was
Yeah,
just this wild, crazy kid, like, yeah, bitch. You know what I mean? Like all he does say, yeah, bitch, in this movie here. But this one is like this man went through hell. He went through a lot. He knows a lot now, and just like Walter White is like he's able to make all these calls, all these decisions on his own and really well thought out to her. And just given just the limited amount of resources and time that he has, you know what I mean? Because the cops after him, you know what I mean? People after him and stuff like that. So it's like he just has to make all these moves now. And, it's not wasted. It's not like, well, he kind of slips up ever so often, but it just kind of played for last basically. But when he learns, he just picks back up quickly and just moves on now. I just love the callbacks. Well, the flashbacks. You saw, Jesse Plemons returns. There's
yeah,
some uncomfortable moments with him, but you really do see the dynamic between the two, and yeah, why he deserved to die. I would say. So yeah, so that worked. Also some other characters I don't want to see who show up again just to add some just emotional weight, and just really just add a lot to Jesse's journey and why he needs to go to this place and what that means to him now. And also in true Bad format fashion, I like that they kind of leave things still open, so you don't know what's gonna happen to Jesse after this film here. Now. If I have like a couple of gripes too, well, one in terms of the story, and two in terms of who I expected to see in it, right? So in terms of the story, I felt that it took a little while for it to pick up because tried to go in as blind as I could. I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, okay, all right, into the story, it's going good, but I'm wondering what's the direction, where's the story going, and then when you see what's gonna, when it kind of plays itself out, it's like, okay, this is where they're going, and then it just picks up, it just keeps developing and developing, what I mean, great climax, and then just a solid outro, like, yeah, this is like the true series finale. This is something I could live with, right? The supporting cast is fantastic as well. Robert Forster, Jesse
yeah,
Plemons, everybody else who shows up, the time that they have, what I mean, especially even, Bryan Cranston, the moment that he have in the film was great, what I mean? Just, and
yeah,
you saw how, and you could tell it's like way back when, like, early,
yeah. The
like
early,
the first
yeah,
half, yeah, where he came off like the father figure instead of the domineering boss and, the big villain, you know what I mean?
yeah,
What else? And what I mean, Vince Gilligan directs and writes this as well too. And it just really feels like just like the series, just this modern neo-noir film, Dread. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah,
oozes in noirness. You know what I mean? Just the look of it, the cinematography, excellent cinematography, by the way. I mean, and this was a show that kind of prides itself in just gorgeous shots. You know what I mean? Great wide shots, landscapes, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it does really draw a lot from westerns as well too. Yes, the
yeah,
vibe of
yeah,
it is very western. Like I love that in
yeah.
the
Very,
climax
very
they do
hello
a
high
little
water.
western moment. Sorry.
Very hello high water.
Yeah, very very Hello I Water, very those kind of like new American cinema style kind of westerns, right? It really pays tribute to that, and yeah, it just really does feel like just this sort of old fashioned noir film. We character on the run. He has to get this money, you know what I mean? But these guys are in the way, you know what I mean? It really does feel like your old school kind of black and white film now. But just in this case, with these characters and it's in color, right? So,
Right.
writing was great, pacing, like I say, even though I was wondering where the story was going, you know what I mean? But when it picked up, I was like, all right, cool, I'm in. And I was just enjoying it, right? And the end, I really appreciate it as well, too. The second gripe I have, though, is just I was expecting a major character. I'm not going to say who that character is, but if you know the show, I think you'll know who I'm talking about. I was expecting that character to show up because I wanted to see where that character was up to, but they didn't give that. And I get, understand, okay, it's about Jesse, it's about his story. It's not about you know, the characters that you was kind of following from the series. But still, I wish that we got a little, hey, this is what this character up to. It's not, I'm not saying that Jesse and that character had a meetup, although it would have been great, but not to spoil anything, it's not like those characters were, you know, it's not like they had a friendship at all. They were just like, oh, you're just that guy that, works with that person. And that was it. So they never had anything together, but still, I wish I saw that person. Like, oh, that's what a character up to. Maybe we might get, just a closing chapter for that character. Who knows? But I doubt it's going to be as, dramatic or as tense as this show was. But yeah, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Way more than expected, actually. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think for some people, like I would say this, like I know when you hear the movie or a movie, you're expecting it to be this heightened take on what it is you know. So it has to have more action, it has to have more explosions and more violence. No, it feels very much like a Breaking Bad episode. It feels very much like
yeah,
what the series finale was. It's paced very well. You get your moments of violence. It's very direct, right? But it doesn't take away from what the story is about, right? So it's just very much like just very much like let me just say it's just like the best episodes of Breaking Bad that you've known and loved over the years if you're a fan. And even if you're not a fan, you could still watch this as just this neo noir film, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is what you're going for in terms of tone and all that. Cool. And it should more than make you want to revisit or at least check out the series if you never checked it out before. So it works in those respects, right? And I also like the fact that it's a Netflix film, so it's not like some sort of cheap cash grab, like, oh well, we still want to get that Breaking Bad money, you know what I mean? Like, dude, people
yeah.
still gonna buy this thing on Blu-ray and DVD, right? So I'm not no worry about. But this, as it came out on Netflix, I think it works as well. And yeah, I really can't wait for it to come out on home here because yeah, I'm gonna buy this, right? So inclusive,
Yeah.
I see this as a top 10 for me. Not top 5 for me, but maybe like within like probably 8, 9, or 10 or something like that. Somewhere up high there. You know what I mean? Not to say it's a terrible movie, but it's just that I've seen better shows. But this is one that I definitely want to see make it to my top 10 list for sure because I really enjoyed it. And just in terms of just closing off that character arc, just a character as a whole, I thought worked for me. So yeah, I go with a decent, a strong 4 to 5. If you're a Breaking Bad fan, this is an absolute must see. If you're not into Breaking Bad, well, I don't know. I guess you could still give it a look and be like, oh well, okay, this is that character that was kind of appealing, but just the character arc that they gave him throughout the series and how they ended off here, it works. You know what I mean? And yeah, it doesn't rely too much on what it is from the show, but I like that they have these little like little callbacks where it's like, oh yeah, that character. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know who Ed was till like after like later on in the story. Yeah? I was like, all
Yeah.
right, yeah, that and that and that and that. But it doesn't take away from the story because you could still look at it as just this neo noir drama slash thriller and still enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, whether you're a fan or not, I still recommend that you give El Camino a look. Yeah, this year is one of my favorite shows of the year thus far, man. So don't skip on this movie at all. All right, and last but not least, speaking of shows to skip out or not to skip out on, Gemini Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you beat me to the
Yeah.
chase it because I honestly wanted to see it, but I was just hearing bad things about it. I heard that it was
All
cliche,
right.
it's
So
kind of boring, and I also heard something too, and this is something I hope that you'll fill me in on. The whole sell of, well, this is Fresh Prince Will Smith, but look at how real it looks. Like even that didn't work neither. Like it didn't look as good as the de-age and stuff that these Disney films have been doing over the past few years. Or so I've heard.
correct.
So you could film in on if that's true or not.
Yeah, they have a couple moments that actually look okay. But yeah, it still look like shit. The problem is that okay. So as I said before, and I'll say it again. Don't give Ang Lee toys. You ever notice that? Time you give him toys, he do shit with it. He's almost never tell a good story with cutting it, special effects. It's only really Life of Pi.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say, with the exception of Life of Pi, which
Yeah.
have a chance of making it to my top 50 list, but
Yeah.
it just have admittedly 50 better shows I could put there. But
Right.
yes, I do
Uh,
love Life of Pi. It does stand out to me. Doesn't hold up as much as all that, but it's still, in terms of just visuals and just the VFX stuff, yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It's masterful in my opinion.
That's the thing. You see, Yada not know that is a special effect. Typical, and he does always fuck that up for some reason. We see it with Hulk. We see it with the Billy something walk thing, or whatever it is, longest walk.
Let me actually get the name of that show. So, the name of that show, wow, is how he just fell off from stuff like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and
No, I mean the
Ride
the
with the
man has
Devil
a
and stuff like that.
don't get the man toys. When it's time for him to do a good movie, you'll get a brilliant movie. He's a great director, in my opinion. He's not
Yeah,
even like
yeah, he is.
not a good director. He's a great director.
Right.
Just the man fucking toys.
Right. So yes, so this movie that we keep forgetting the title of is Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk.
Right.
Which I remember Movie Bob like really hating. He put out one of his worst stuff for 2016.
No, it didn't work
It
at
was
all.
like one of the few people who actually reviewed that movie, actually. Come to think of it.
Yeah, it was a waste of time. Because it's just a tech demo. It's one of those, that's the problem now. He's get tech, and then he don't do anything with the tech. It's very rarely you'll get something interesting.
Right.
So, so I will Hulk. Like Hulk, his Hulk movie, I don't hate at all. In fact, I actually like it more than the MCU version of the Hulk, to tell you the truth.
They have some interesting ideas. I'll give it that.
Yes,
but
right.
it just have some stuff, like, to me, it just felt too long. It just dragged on. It like, when you tell me Hulk, big screen Hulk movie, I expected to be excited. But when I had to wait and check my watch for, now we're going to talk about Hulk, Dad, and Nick Nolte, you know me. So that's why, not Edward Norton, oh gosh, Eric Bana is the Hulk, because Daddy is the Hulk too. Like, what?
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, it don't work, and whatever. Point is, you ain't gonna get Brokeback Mountain from anything, right? You're not gonna get good filmmaking. You're gonna get tech demo and then a sliver of a story, a tiny, a shitty fish skin of a story, thin and smelly, terrible.
Yeah.
Over your tech demo. That's basically what we get with this.
Now, last thing I just want to say before you get to what the show is about. Now, I at least was hoping that this would have just been a dumb action movie. But, it's dumb fun now. Like, I was expecting that. I went in expecting, like, I was going to go in expecting, like, yeah, the movie wasn't going to blow me away, but, that is stupid. But at least I have fun with it. At least I could kind of rock back and enjoy it. And the sell of it, Will Smith versus Will Smith, at least play it off to, to its most extreme, absurd level now, which I assume they didn't. But anyway, what is Gemini Man about?
So Gemini Man is about so Will Smith's play. Oh, what's the character name by?
His name is Henry Brogan.
Brogan.
Henry Brogan.
Henry.
Okay.
So,
all the names, so anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's a top assassin, right? He's the best ever. Blah blah blah, right? Best killer.
Yeah. The best of the best.
Right. That was right. So he had to do some kill, and he didn't do the kill as good as he could have. He's like still an amazing kill. Because he's a perfectionist, blah blah blah. He decides to quit and retire.
Okay. I thought they would disavow his existence and try and wipe him out. Okay.
it's kind of like that, but basically he just he tried to go off on his own. Then this this girl from Kick from not Kick-Ass from
Mary Elizabeth Warren, Winstead.
right. Yeah,
I
Ramona.
like her
Ramona.
actually. I like her.
Yeah, Ramona.
Right.
From Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Right. So she now is this hit woman who's a CIA type, but I think I think they get her to watch him. I forget what it was exactly. But
Some cliche spy shit though. Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
character
The
who
rest
always
is
had to
space.
keep your eye on you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Been there,
She-
seen that.
Right.
Anyway.
And I mean, now yeah, the thing with this, the dialogue in this is so bad,
But
because-
it's Ang Lee, man.
yeah.
Like I know he's
so,
not like a writer per se, but oh gosh, man, you wanna let that slide?
yeah, but nobody has chemistry with anyone else. So
Wow, serious.
yeah. So like no, like he trying to do a thing with Will Smith, but it didn't work in, and everything just falling flat. Anyway, so basically, Will Smith now is played. Well, he played another character. This is basically a younger version of himself.
Right.
Uh,
This is the Fresh Prince version of
This
Henry.
is this is character Jackson Brogan Jr. Well, nickname Junior, but basically he is a clone of him.
Right.
And he basically it come after him to finish him off. And I forget exactly why, because again it's a movie that I will admit it's very difficult to pay attention to.
Uh-huh.
It basically had to just get rid of him to replace him. That is basically the end. It's they want to keep, they want a soldier, but they want a perfect soldier, and he have emotions and to compromise and blah blah blah. And well,
Right.
the person at the beginning was not a terrorist, but it was really like a scientist to change the world, and he wanted to maintain the status quo. That is why they lied him to kill him. It's typical shit. Nothing, no twists, nothing.
Right,
And
right. Everything just straightforward.
straightforward. Like it have nothing to go with it. Anyway, ultimately you find out why they're doing it, and they're doing it because they just need perfect soldiers. And that's Clive Owen's character, who's a mustache twirling villain. If he had a mustache, he'd twirl it.
Yes. I was wondering what his role was in this
Right,
movie.
he was kind of the head of the whole thing. And then they had Benedict Wong was playing like the hype man, the run man, who you get a plane for them and allow them to travel across the world and usual shit.
Okay, so I assume he's comic relief, but just painfully bad.
He done a little too joke, but I don't get the sense that he was supposed to be full comic relief. But I just get the sense that look, he does have to do the thing, right? This kind of remind me of. This remind me of some shit like anybody remember shit like Thunder in Paradise or
Yes,
like
I remember.
No, anybody remember shit like that where everything you have a sort of money and resources and it's kind of and everybody does badass and your life's so perfect and you just have a friend and it's some real 90s shit, and anyway the ending is that they fight another clone and then they stop them from having a clone and then baby Will Smith go to school and that's it. It's the end. And they kind of wanted to have the girl be a romance, but not really because nobody have chemistry. So you could tell that they probably dropped out the cutting room full of.
And it is 50. Well, at least the time that he filmed it, 50-year-old Will Smith, right? So
Yeah, big man. Yeah, well, that normal thing about Sean Connery, right? And Sean Connery.
You're right.
Seeing bullshit back in the days, whatever.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
90s. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. I mean, it have really nothing to talk about or say. I don't know what it is we could talk about because, as our colleague put it, you're basic. Somali, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they really didn't have anything to fucking do with it. It's like, what's frustrating to watch this? Usually, you'll give it a chance and say, all right, well, if the trailer's selling out this, that, or the other, that means they have an extra twist to go with it.
Yes.
Right? Not at all. They didn't do anything. They just bring the new version of Will Smith because they had to fight another extra clone who was kind of badass, which was kind of reminiscent of X-25 or whatever the fuck it was, or X-24 from Logan.
From Logan, yeah. X-24.
Yeah,
X-24.
X-24, right? Same thing. That's basically what it was. That they have X-23 versus and two of them had to team up to fight them. They didn't escalate the action in any interesting way. Like the first action sequence is okay.
Really?
Yeah, the first action sequence is okay. That motorcycle him versus him.
Yeah, which is
Uh,
sell hell out of with those
Right.
trailers, especially one
Right.
that they actually got friggin' Gene Smith to do over the Icon, music for. And I mean
Right.
that kind of made me want to see it. When I heard, I was just like, Icon living. I was like, okay,
Right.
okay, yeah,
And it's a shame they didn't really do anything with this. I can't. The only thing to talk about is how much you have nothing to talk about. Joker destroyed it at the box office.
yeah.
No surprise because this didn't bring nothing to the table. And look, I want to say that Ang Lee, is some big disappointment. How can a great director do some shit? But there's a fucking track record of Ang Lee, so it's like it's not a thing that I too mad
Yes,
about.
surprised by it, I assume.
Yeah, because you do this shit all the fucking time. Like it's
Yeah.
fine.
Now,
I
I
didn't.
just read some. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have nothing to say or talk about because the
Right.
script there's nothing.
Right.
There's no script.
Now the thing is, like, I see this on the Wikipedia page, right? I actually saw another friend of mine talk about it on Facebook. Something about the frame rate. It was
Right.
120 frames per
So,
second.
well, the thing is that don't mean anything to me because nobody saw this film quote unquote properly, right? Apparently they shot
right.
higher frame rate, and some cinemas shoot it. Some cinemas projected it in a proper frame rate, but in a higher frame rate. But as far as I know, no cinema, not a single cinema across the planet, does it in the proper frame rate. So it's like, yeah, what's the point of that? This is
Yeah.
like the Lord of the Rings thing now.
Yeah, like the Hobbit, the first Hobbit. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at how real it gonna look like. But like,
Yeah, but I think,
gives a
and
shit.
I have no idea what that looks like or what the intention is. So it's like I don't have an issue with it one way or the other. But to me, it's like, yeah, well, if nobody gonna see it, then why even make it like that? So what you plan to show this in the future, or
You know what I
see
mean?
people
Like when people buy 4K ultras, like it don't even gonna matter because it's gonna look
Yeah.
a kind of way anyway. You know what I mean? It's not gonna look the
Right.
way or you see it, frame rate wise, in theaters, right?
Right. I have no
Yeah.
idea what it's supposed to look like or whatever it is. So I don't care about that. So it's like it's in and out. That's about it. And the again, well, I suppose the one thing we could talk about is the tech. The tech when it's time for him doing emotions, it's okay. The younger version of him looks okay. I thought it's not the worst, it's not the best tech. I've seen better, but it's not the worst
Right.
either.
But I heard this as part of a joke. They're like, oh gosh, we have the agent technology that exists, so
Yeah.
why Ang Lee couldn't use that instead?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why it was because it was for what it is. Look, go watch Orphan Black or something. Like seriously, stop.
Yeah,
Stop
Open
wasting
Black
it.
is great, by the way. You're
Yeah.
that.
Watch that
Yeah,
instead. Like, yeah, just watch that instead. Like, that is a much better, well thought out scenario and roughly, and it takes the logic to a more better space. Anybody remember the six man? Remember that bullshit?
Yeah, with Schwarzenegger.
No.
And,
Yeah,
and
that's what this was. That's what it was.
Like where he says you should make a clone of yourself. That way, that you should make a clone too. That way you could go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Ugh. Terrible
It's bad.
line. Terrible line.
it's bad.
But it was
Um,
dumb fun. It was dumb
Yeah.
fun, and I was expecting Gemini Man to be, but apparently it wasn't. So
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I look. You see, the thing is, at this point, right? Because I'm so tired of the dumb fun thing too. Because look, in the end of the day, if you're not bringing anything to the table and you're just doing some dumb bullshit like the Transformers or something, in my opinion, I just look at it as you just burning a pile of money, right?
Yeah.
Because, you could do so many other things better. You could give more money to other people, this kind of thing. And again, this is literally a Will Smith vanity project. Literally. It's like, hey, remember how sexy Will Smith used to look back in the days? And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Like, I don't know if you remember from the second trailer, they even do so you know it have this After Effects thing where you could make like simulate like a VHS tape from like the 80s or 90s. So you do a version of like young Will Smith, like how he would have looked like when he started off at Freshman, doing that yo, I'm working on this new film, man, just to show off the tip. But I'll admit, it catch me. It was like, all right, it's looking good.
Yeah.
If only the movie was good, but whatever.
Yeah, and Will Smith. Okay, so I just want to talk about something because look, we got to fill up some time, right? My attitude with Will Smith is that he's a person that never really start the second half of his career, right? He's a person who kind of Tom Cruise himself into a trap, right? Where he was supposed to win Oscars.
Yeah.
And
from since Ali,
right? Ali, is what
2001 when that movie came out.
Right. Right. He
And
never really
he had
get
another chance with The Pursuit of Happiness. He got nominated,
right.
actually. And after that,
Right.
poof, nothing else.
And then after a while, he started to give up on that, and then he started
Yeah,
to
it
go
was
back to
I Am
action.
Legend and this and that and just more or less disposable movies there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually what happened in terms. The person that he only constantly reminded her that, he was the Fresh Prince. He reminded me of 90s Will Smith. He
Yeah.
reminded me of Agent J and I forget the character name from Independence Day.
Yeah.
That bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And it's starting to get annoying now. Time to move on. And I heard, so just a quick thing, I heard that you want them to remake The Fresh Prince. But do you remember earlier this year, some dude made like a dramatized version of The Fresh Prince? Like a trailer?
And it was awesome though. Yeah, I love it.
Great. So if they're doing that, I won't mind. Like if
Yeah.
Will Smith give to that, Will Smith should give money to that. Right? I would watch that. But if he just doing back the show as a sitcom, like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, why I need to watch this?
Exactly. Like the series
kinda-
is great. Let me admit it. Not the best show in the world, but it
Yeah,
was
no,
great to the point that
I was a
we don't need a remake of it.
No, I was a very big fan of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's a great sitcom, one of the best sitcoms, and because of the whole falling apart of Cosby, Uncle Phil and that paradigm take the space, fill the vacuum of black middle class and black upper middle class life aesthetics now.
Yes.
So all of that I didn't really, all that's fine. But if you're remaking it, you could do a lot with it. There's a lot to talk about. With a show. A serious version of it could totally work. But you have to, put, as I say, put good money after good now. Don't put good money after bad. And Will Smith is a person like this right now. He seems to be a person who just put in good money after bad.
Yeah.
He's putting up on, and he just doing these like transparently, like sad PR stunts. He show up on Marcus Brownlee videos, and look, I like Marcus Brownlee, but that shit just come across as awkward as hell.
Yeah. Like I'm sorry, it's not the 90s anymore. It's not like, oh well, we have to see this movie because Will Smith's in it. You had that run already. He had that run already.
And sadly, you should be better with Suicide Squad, so that didn't work out.
Yeah, and as I say Suicide Squad, it's funny that Joker beat Gemini Man, like a movie that because Suicide Squad, Joker, get it right? Yeah. Beating his film, right? Ha ha ha.
Right. So I look, I don't know how Will Smith gonna evolve. I think this son is marginally talented.
Yeah, but I would say though, if he knows what's good for him, he should stick with rap. He should stick in that lead, in that whole, alternative hip hop that he's doing right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad of an actor, frankly. But you had to pick your projects, and it's shocking how he just picking a bunch of bad projects, and he can't keep up with the world as it is now.
Yeah.
How this is work or why? So you think he think M Night is a great writer now, so he's you gotta give a sci-fi to M Night and make it, and then it's just complete nonsense, right?
After Urges, oh my god.
Yeah, it's just a mess, right?
Whew. Yeah.
I don't know. That is another. I won't go as far as saying that Will Smith dead or anything like that in terms of career or nothing like that. But this was a bad sign. You kind of circling the drain, in my opinion.
To me, and the sad part about it is like he know better. That's just because he's 51 now, but at the stage where he is in his career, you think he would know better than pick these half-ass,
a person in this space have to put, as I say, you put money after good now. You have to know what to invest in at this point, especially in today's age of the internet. You have to look for people who really understand the material now, how to understand how to go forward in today's world. So again, he shows up in Marcus Brownlee, which are a little cringeworthy. But Marcus Brownlee is the future in a sense, right?
He is. Man's get access to a bunch of shit. I mean,
exactly.
Yo.
So, but it's still popular shit in your face thing, and it's like the nature and the age of the internet don't really fit that now. I don't hate Will Smith's life right now, but he kind of annoying me right now because he kind of is like, yeah, you're fucking this up.
Yeah,
well,
it's like darts on. It's like darts on like I was gonna say, like he just throwing darts right now, just like exactly. And again the same vibe from Dwayne Johnson, because look, just want to mention quick, the first trailer for Jungle Cruise came out. What this thing is like, all right, it have a Jumanji vibe, it have a bit of the African Queen, Kid Zaxby's parents vibe with it,
right.
But you better than this though. You better
Yeah.
than this.
I
Why are
was
we
like,
doing this Disney theme park movie thing for, Rock? Come on.
you're right. I get a feeling that he was kind of miscast in this. This could have worked if it had a different actor. I'm not sure which actor it could have been. I'm not sure. As it was. So that's just me.
Yeah.
This was just a flat project. It's a shame that nobody could have script doctored this. Like you could have just punched up the script in so many different ways. So many different ways. And he did nobody try.
Right.
Nobody tried. Like, yeah, let me just put this out, that's use it out and flush, right? And that's pretty much what went down here.
Yeah. So rating wise, what do you give Gemini Man?
This like for me in terms of just a colossal waste of time. Like it's not the worst thing ever, but I gonna get us like, yeah, this might be. I probably gonna give us a super low score. This gonna get the cap score, right? Go see this in the cap score.
Wow. So that
point at
means that this is gonna show up on the worst stuff list, right?
Well, no, I mean,
it's
as
begging.
if I care to like mention that, and I was like, yeah, okay, maybe, but it's like, it's just a waste of fucking time. I mean, I look, I literally, here's the thing, the only reason I went to see this is to literally kill time, right? I went to South Park for a reason. I had to do and wait for somebody to do something later in the day, and I was like, yeah, I have to also spend, and it's just perfect timing to go see the film. I was like, all right, I'm going to see the movie.
Right.
That's pretty much it. And it's like, wow.
And it still felt like you were just killing time. Wow.
And I feel like I wasted my time. I was like, I could be outside, like just probably like coming up with some ideas for writing in the restaurant next to South Park or something. Like,
yeah, you could have called me the next best movie, the next movie for Will Smith to be in.
Whatever. Because like I've been okay. So like for the last week or so, I've been on a big Sequest binge. Like I've been basically writing out the entire first season of what a remake of Sequest should be. So I have like about 4 or 5 scripts done.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, no, it's just more weird. Like I just had a super weird obsession for Sequest, so I just write out the entire script. And it's not the entire script, like the entire first season so far. And it's like about 10. Well, I have about 11 episodes in my head of what it should be like, and I write out 5. And if it for this and I had the extra 2 hours, I should have finished it by now. And I'm not like I'm kicking myself or anything like that because that show will never be made. But the point is, it's like, what the fuck they make this movie, Dread?
Yeah.
What is the point of this movie? It's a total nowherean black hole of time. Anyway, Capsco.
Yeah.
Go see it in Capsco. Moving on. Next.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Capsco is a cinema that does not exist. So that in itself should tell you, the worth of this movie.
Yeah, go see it. Go see it in Palladium, right?
Yeah, Palladium's another one too.
Go see it in Windsor. Go see it in Windsor.
Ooh, wow, boy.
So, yeah.
Such a shame. So
All right.
looking forward to the next Will Smith project. I don't know what it's gonna be, but hey, that's right. Just throw it that. Anyway.
Cool.